Welcome ladies and gentlemen back to another Hunter Call of the Wild video, and today we're going to be ranking all 17 maps in the Hunter Call of the Wild in my personal opinion from the worst to the best. So keep in mind that this is going to be in my personal opinion from my least favorite maps to my most favorite maps, and feel free to share your opinions down in the comments below and tell me what your worst map is and what your favorite map is. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So in my 17th spot, I've got Rancho del Arroyo. Now, this map is okay to hunt, and I do find it enjoyable sometimes. It's just, it gets boring pretty quickly. This map does have 10 species on it, with 3 of those species being unique to this map, which is the antelope jackrabbit, the Rio Grande turkey, and the Mexican bobcat. Those are the 3 species that can only be found here on Rancho del Arroyo, so if you do want to go hunt for those, you can find them on this map. There is also 3 species of great ones that you can hunt on this map: the ring-necked pheasant, the white-tailed deer, and the new mule deer. So those are the 3 great one species that you can hunt on Rancho del Arroyo. Now, it's a good map in general, and I do like to hunt it sometimes, especially going after pheasants and stuff, but it doesn't really do it for me most of the time, so it goes in the 17th spot. Now, in my 16th spot, I've got Parque Fernando. Now, this is another one of those maps where it's fun to hunt it every once in a while, but I don't get a real, sense to hunt it over and over and over again. It is fun to come back once in a while to hunt it, but yeah, as I said, it doesn't really do it for me. Kind of like Rancho, it gets boring pretty quickly, especially with how dense this map can get. It's just a pain to hunt sometimes. So I've put it in the 16th spot. Now, this map does have 8 species, and there is 2 unique species to this map that you can only find here on Parque, and that is the cinnamon teal and the puma. So those are the 2 species that you can only find here on Parque Fernando. So that is pretty cool, I guess. Now, there is also 2 great one species that you can hunt on this map: the mule deer and the red deer. So if you do want to set up a grind for either mule deer or red deer, then Parque Fernando is an option there. Now, would I suggest it? Probably not. I'd probably stick to Te Awaroa for red deer and definitely Eskee Ridge for mule deer. But hey, everybody has a different taste and an opinion, so if you do really want to set up a grind for any of these 2 species here on Parque Fernando, definitely go for it, and it would definitely make it quite interesting, I reckon. But yeah, on to number 15. Now, in my 15th spot, I've got Medvid Tiger. Now, this is going to come under the same sort of thing as Rancho and Parque Fernando. It's fun to hunt in the moment, but it does get boring. Now, I do have a moose grind set up on this map, which is honestly pretty good, and I do believe that Medvid Tiger is one of the best, if not the best, moose grinding map in Hunter Call of the Wild. So that is a plus right there, but it's fun to hunt, but it kind of gets boring just seeing white all the time. Like, literally everything is white. Now, it can be fun, especially some of the lakes on this can get really fun if you're just going out and shooting. So yeah, there's a lot of enjoyment on this map. Now, this map does have 8 species, which 2 of them are unique, being the musk deer and the mountain reindeer. Now, you can only hunt 1 great one type on this map, and that would be the moose. But I do believe that Medvid Tiger is the best map for the moose to grind for, at least. So if you are looking to do a moose grind, definitely recommend Medvid for this one. But yeah, sadly it gets placed at number 15 just because it just doesn't do it for me most of the time. Now, in our 14th spot, I have Hersheldon. Now, Hersheldon is a pretty cool map in my opinion. I do quite like to hunt this map, but it's just one of those maps that it's not so much the map, it's just how much that I've hunted it. It's just gotten sort of boring for me, I suppose. Now, I do love to come back to Hersheldon quite often, actually, and do some more geese shooting. That is pretty fun. I love this map, and this will forever be my favorite Canadian geese map. I just love just shooting the geese on this map. It's just really, really fun, and that's what I enjoy the most about this. And it's a very nostalgic map for me. this was, when I first ever got Hunter Call of the Wild, this was one of my favorite maps for quite a while. So I don't understand all the hate around Hersheldon. I know it can get quite dense, especially in the forested parts, but if you give it a little bit of time and warm up to it a bit, it is a pretty good map, and I've gotten quite a lot of trophies from it. Now, there is 9 species in total on Hersheldon, one of those being unique, and that is the European bison. Now, the European bison is quite a cool species, and I do have a diamond one with the legacy rack, or horns, which is pretty cool. Now, you can hunt 4 different Great One species on this map, which is quite cool for Hersheldon. You can hunt the ring-necked pheasant, the red fox, the fallow deer, and the red deer. So there's quite a lot of different opportunities for Great One hunting on this map, which is really, really cool. So if you want to set up a grinds for any of those, then Hersheldon could be the map for you. I'm not quite too sure, but yeah, number 14 goes to Hersheldon. In my 13th spot, I have Mississippi Acres. Now, I do quite like this map again, same with Hersheldon. It is quite fun at times, especially the gator hunting. That's my favorite part about this map by a mile. And it is a very, very detailed map, and I really do love like how this map looks in general. It's really cool. And yeah, it's just really good for gator hunting. I personally love this map. It's awesome, especially when it first came out. I was immediately in love with this map. It was really, really cool, but over the years it started to die down a little bit just because of how much I've hunted it, and just because it's just, you know, there's new maps that have come out that are better by a mile or so. But there is 10 species on this map, 2 of those being unique species, being the wild hog and the American alligator. So those are the 2 species that you can only find here on Mississippi. So if you are looking for those, then this map is going to house them. Now, there is 2 Great One species that you can hunt on this map, the white-tailed deer and the black bear. Now, I haven't really seen too many people do white-tailed deer grinds on this map at all. Now, I know one of my old friends actually set up a Great One grind here on Mississippi and actually did spawn a big rack Great One whitetail, not diamond, sorry. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But if you are wanting to grind either the white-tailed deer or the black bear, Mississippi is an option. Now, in my 12th spot, I have New England Mountains. Now, this is probably going to surprise quite a lot of people because I know this map does get quite a lot of backlash, but I did place it in 12th place just because it is an absolutely beautiful map, and it's just scenically amazing, if that even makes sense at all. I'm not quite too sure, but this map is beautiful. Very, very orange. Looks like autumn, and it is absolutely stunning. And this is one of my more favorite maps for when I'm just going around and playing the game how it's meant to be, running around and just stalking animals and stuff like that. It's an awesome map to do that, and I quite like to do a bit of bow hunting on this map. Same as with the air rifle as well. It's a really, really cool map to sneak up on animals and take them out with bows and stuff like that. Now, there is 15 species on this map, with one of those species out of that 15 being unique, and that is just the bobcat. Now, believe it or not, there is 5 Great One types on this map that you can hunt. You have the ring-necked pheasant, the red fox, white-tailed deer, black bear, and moose. So those are all 5 Great One types that you can hunt here on New England Mountains, which is kind of crazy, having 5 different options on one singular map. It gives you quite a variety to choose from and gives you quite a lot to look forward to. It is a cool map. It's just not so much of a grinding map because there is just so much river and lakes and stuff to set up. You can't really get all your tents around. It's more so a map for people that want to just get out and run around and just shoot animals and just have a good relaxing time. Now, in my 11th spot, I do have Sundatan. Now, I quite like this map as well, and I know that most of these maps I'm saying I quite like them, but it is true, just because it's in last place doesn't mean I hate the map at all. It just means that every other map is better somehow. But I do quite enjoy Sundatan, and when it first dropped, it was amazing. I headed basically straight up to the mountaintops in search of the snow leopards, because I really wanted to get some snow leopards, and I just love this map and how it's layered or, built. It's absolutely awesome. I love going after the elusive snow leopards. It's just so much fun. And especially the tigers too. Tigers are another big factor. It is just absolutely awesome. Now, all up, there is 13 species on Sundatan, and 9 of those being unique, being the woolly hare, the northern red muntjac, the Tibetan fox, the blue sheep, snow leopard, barasinger, nilgai, Bengal tiger, and the wild yak. Now, there's only one Great One species that you can hunt on this map, and that is the Himalayan tahr. So, if you want to set up your Himalayan tahr grind, then you do have the option of Sundatan, which is pretty cool, and this is the first map that I started my tahr grind on because, well, that was the only map you could find tahr on at that time, but you can also find them on Te Awaroa now. Now, in my 10th spot, I have Quattrainus. Now, this is quite a cool map, and the only map in which you can find the ibex species, which is pretty cool. Now, there is 11 species total on this map, 7 of those being unique, being the European hare, the Besit ibex, Grados ibex, Ronda ibex, southeastern Spanish ibex, the Iberian mouflon, and the Iberian wolf. So those are all 7 unique species here on Quattrainus, and this is a pretty fun map. I must say, it's very open and easy to go to the lakes, and must I tell you, the ibex are pretty easy to get diamonds of as well. I guarantee that if you get this map, you'll have at least 1 or 2 initial spawn diamond ibex somewhere. Now, this is going to completely contradict that, but we did get a troll 5 medium Ronda ibex here, which is pretty funny. But there is 2 Great One species that you can hunt on this map, being the ring-necked pheasant and the red deer. So if you do want to set up any of those grinds at all, then Quattrainus is an option there. But yeah, Quattrainus in 10th place. Now, in our 9th place, I have Leighton Lakes, and Leighton Lakes has always been one of my favorite maps in the Hunter Call of the Wild. It's my most nostalgic map by far. This is the one that I used to play the most. Now, there is 9 species in total on Leighton Lakes. 3 of those being unique, being the white-tailed jackrabbit, the black-tailed deer, and the Roosevelt elk. Now, I have a blast playing this map. It is absolutely awesome, and it's a really, really good base game map compared to some of the DLC maps even. It's really, really cool, and as long as you know where to look, you can have an absolute blast. Now, I do love the blacktail hunting on this map, and the Roosevelt elk hunting as well is absolutely awesome. It's a really, really well put together map, especially for this being a base game map from when the game first ever came out. It is absolutely awesome, and I love this map with a passion, and that is Leighton Lakes in number 9th place. Now, in our 8th place, I have Yukon Valley. Now, I absolutely love Yukon Valley. This is a really, really fun map to play, in my opinion. And I do find myself coming to Yukon Valley quite oftenly, actually, in search of a diamond caribou still. That is still one of my main things that I want. I've never gotten a diamond caribou at all, so it'd be really, really cool to get one. But yeah, sadly, I have not managed to get a diamond caribou yet, which is pretty sad. Now, here on Yukon Valley, you can find 8 species, 2 of those being unique, being the harlequin duck and the Grant caribou. So those are the 2 species that you can only find here on Yukon Valley. Now, there is also 2 Great One species that you can hunt on this map, being the red fox and the moose. So those are your options of Great Ones here on Yukon Valley as well. which is pretty cool in all honesty. Now, I'm not quite too sure how good it would be for grinding, because I know there is a lot of water here on Yukon, especially the main river system. It can get quite tiring looking for all of your zones. But Yukon Valley has always been one of my favorite maps in terms of just going around and hunting and shooting basically anything that stumbles upon your path. Now, especially caribou, still want to done one of those. Hopefully soon we'll get one. Now, in my 7th spot, I do have Emerald Coast. Now, there is 14 species on this map, 8 of those being unique, being the magpie goose, the stubble quail, the hog deer, the eastern grey kangaroo, the Javan rooster, the sambar, the saltwater crocodile, and the bantang. So those are all 14 species, or not all 14 species, but 8 unique species you can find here on Emerald Coast, which is pretty cool. Now, there is also 3 great ones that you can find on Emerald Coast, being the red fox, the fallow deer, and the red deer. So those are your options in terms of great ones here on Emerald Coast. So overall, not bad. Now, I absolutely love this map for the fact is it's so open, it's so easy to hunt, and it is a great money-making map. You just go around and shoot absolutely everything, and you can make bank in absolutely no time at all. It is really, really good to make money, and that is Emerald Coast in our 7th place. Now, in our 6th place, I have Virunga Savannah. This is another one of those really, really open maps that it's just really easy to grind on and make a lot of money very fast. Now, there is 10 species on this map, and 9 of those are actually unique species, being the scrub hare, the side-striped jackal, the springbok, lesser kudu, warthog, blue wildebeest, gemsbok, cape buffalo, and lion. So those are all of your unique species here. Now, unfortunately, there is absolutely no great ones on this map whatsoever. There's 0 great ones. So that is the only downside to this. So yeah, unfortunately you can't grind any great ones on this map, which doesn't really put it down the ranks too much for me because I just enjoy this map so much. Now, coming into our top 5 maps for the Hunter Call of the Wild, in our 5th place we have Sells Whisen Park. Now, this is absolutely awesome. There is literally only class 1 and 2 species on this map, and there is 15 species in total, 2 of those being unique, being the Ferruginous duck and the gadwall. So those are your 2 unique species here on Sells Whisen, and the reason I love this map so much is all you literally need is a shotgun to run around this map and just decimate everything in your path. Ducks, pheasants, literally anything. You've got raccoon dogs and red foxes as your main sort of class 2 animals on this map. Now, there is only 2 great ones on this map, and that would be the ring-necked pheasant and the red fox. So those are your species for great ones when it comes to this map, and I honestly do reckon that this is the best map in the Hunter Call of the Wild to grind ring-necked pheasants and red fox. So if you are looking to set up those grinds, definitely consider Sells Whisen Park. But yeah, that is Sells Whisen Park in our number 5th spot. Now, coming in 4th place, we have Te Awaroa. Now, this map is Grinder's Paradise right here. This is by far the easiest map in the Hunter Call of the Wild to grind all 3 of the Great One species on this map. That's including fallow deer, Himalayan tar, and red deer. Those are the 3 Great One species that you can find here on Te Awaroa, and this is by far the best map to hunt all 3 of those Great One species. Now, there is 10 species in total on Te Awaroa, and 2 of those being unique, being the chamois and the sika deer. So those are your unique species when it comes to Te Awaroa, so if you do want to go hunt for those, then this is going to be the map for that. But yeah, the reason I love Te Awaroa so much is this is just my favorite map to grind red deer and fallow deer. It is so easy. It's a beautiful, beautiful map, and there's just a lot to do. It's pretty open for the most part, and yeah, it's just a very, very easy, very, very beginner-friendly map to start out on, and yeah, it is Grinder's Paradise. Now, coming into our top 3 maps in the Hunter Call of the Wild, in our 3rd spot goes to Eskee Ridge. Now, ever since I've started playing Eskee Ridge, it is absolutely awesome. Now, I don't quite own it yet, but I've been having an absolute blast on all of the multiplayer sessions. It is very, very fun. And yeah, I'm loving this map so far. It's really, really easy to find animals. It's awesome. Now, believe it or not, there is 19 species on this map, and 8 of those being unique, being the dusky grouse, the northern pintail, the snow goose, the wood duck, the North American beaver, the woodland caribou, the Manitoban elk, and the wood bison. So those are all 8 of your unique species on this map, meaning you can only find them here on Eskee Ridge. Now, just like New England mountains, you can find 5 different Great One species on this map, being the ring-necked pheasant, mule deer, white-tailed deer, black bear, and moose. Now, in our second spot, we have Rivenuli Coast, and just like Eskee Ridge, it is very, very open, very easy to play, and very beginner friendly. And also, just like Eskee Ridge, it holds 19 species. Now, 4 of those being unique, so only half of what Eskee Ridge has for unique species. But those being the hazel grouse, the mountain hare, the rock ptarmigan, and the willow ptarmigan. So those are your 4 unique species on Rivenuli Coast. Now, there is only 2 Great One species you can hunt on this map, being the white-tailed deer and the moose. Now, I do believe that the white-tailed deer grind on Rivenuli is the best whitetail grind in the game, or is the easiest map to grind whitetail on. It is very, very easy, very, very open, and it's pretty easy to find all of your zones, especially when they're all out in the open like this. But yeah, it's just a very beginner-friendly map. Very easy to grind whitetail on, and yeah, it's just a all-round very, very good map. And of course, in our number 1 spot, we have Silver Ridge Peaks. In my opinion, by far the best map in the Hunter Call of the Wild, holding 9 species, 2 of those being unique, being the mountain lion and the Rocky Mountain elk, and holding 2 Great One species, being the mule deer and the black bear. By far, probably the most beginner-friendly map in the Hunter Call of the Wild. You spawn in at the outpost, look to your side, and there is plains bison, pronghorn, mule deer, turkeys, literally about half the species on the map. But yeah, very, very open map. Definitely the best map for the black bear and the mule deer. Although, saying that, I'd actually recommend Eskee Ridge for those grinds now, because Eskee Ridge doesn't have mountain lions that scare away your mule deer and black bear every 2 seconds. So I would actually prefer Eskee Ridge and recommend it more than Silver Ridge for the grind. But still, Silver Ridge Peaks is number 1. Best map in the game. Very beginner friendly. Species and animals everywhere. And it's just very, very open. But yeah, that is my list of the map ranking, I guess you could say, in 2025 for the Hunter Call of the Wild. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and a subscribe. It really does help the channel. And let me know what your worst and your favorite map is in the Hunter Call of the Wild. And until next time, peace.